what exactly is the study of communications and how is it different than English per se? Because I know you're like, you can have a concentration in news or some other areas that might overlap with like an English major or film major.
To me, the study of communications, there isn't really one definitive answer, at least as we're taught that communications is anything people speak, write, or hear. So communications could be defined in all different ways. And I think it just depends on what you are most interested in and what you want to get out of communications.
What focus slash major should you have in communications if you want to get into the business field? And I'm going to give Katie this question since you are studying agricultural business. If you can just talk about ways that communications intersects with business and also speak to the question that Carly asks, perhaps like concentrations or minors or focuses that one can have when studying communications that can lead one to pursue business.
Absolutely. So I do have my communications major paired with an ag business major, like you mentioned, which is really helpful in marrying both hard and soft skills together. So I'm able to utilize those public speaking skills that I gain in my communications major and my business internships and communications internships, which is extremely valuable. You can never go wrong and you can never have too great of writing skills. It's always good to keep developing those because those are going to convey in both your professional writing on your resume, cover letters, and even just in like your email communications with people. That's something that's going to stand out if you're an effective writer and communicate a message concisely, which is really important in business. I would also say that some of my communications classes have also allowed me to develop Excel skills, which I didn't realize was so important in communications and business. During an internship I had last summer, it was a communications internship, but every single day I was working in Excel. So I'd say regardless of where you're going or where you're hoping to intern, where you're hoping to end up in your career, you can never go wrong with having some of those foundational skills that I just mentioned.
Do you think a communications major is more similar to marketing business major or a psychology major? And I know, Drew, you spoke to how a communications major can look like many different things and that it can probably intersect with psychology and intersect with business or take on a business or psychology focus. And I know, Katie, you have a background in business and that is part of your studies. So I was wondering if you, even though I'm not sure if you've taken any psychology classes, but if you can speak to how like what it looks like for business to intersect with a communications degree, and if you know of any ways that it also overlaps with a psychology major or minor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Do you want to go? Honestly, I think that it could overlap with any major possible. I actually was thinking about minoring in psychology for a very long time. I love psychology. I think that a lot of the topics that we talk about in psychology are very related to communications as it is the study of human beings. I also think that there's a major overlap with business. As I'm majoring in advertising, we have to learn about the business field. We have to learn about how people interact in business meetings. We have to take classes in our business school. And I think that it's especially important. And to answer your question in full, I think that it's similar to both. It just depends on which aspect you want to be more interested in. Like you could do a psychology more emphasis, or you could do a business more emphasis. It just depends on what path you want to go down.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. For me personally, because I do have the business major, which has a concentration in marketing, I see more of the business marketing connection. And also, that's what a lot of my background experience has been in. However, I have taken psychology courses, and I can say that those definitely helped me in my communications major, just in understanding how to effectively communicate a message to certain audiences. Whenever you really think of like persuasive writing, that's where it really comes into play. And I think that it's good to dip your feet in different areas to understand your major more. I think taking classes outside of specifically your major to give your major some depth is really valuable. So if you're considering, adding a double major or a minor, those would both be great areas to look into.